What's up guys? As promised, rule number 2 of how to be a great actor. But before we begin, please hit the like button as it greatly helps the YouTube algorithm and helps me bring more videos to you for free. Rule number 2, stay on voice and make a choice. So what does that mean? Well, the easiest way to explain this is to explain what being off voice is. Off voice is when you start talking like this and you don't really engage your vocal cords. And a lot of actors do this because they feel like they can achieve some sort of emotional response in themselves or the audience. Some of you might be saying, well, yeah, that makes sense. It looks and sounds so genuine. I'm gonna prove you wrong in 3 parts. Part 1, let's talk about why that will never get you hired. In 1, the theater. This is a surefire way to make you suck, the play suck, and the entire artistic team suck because your indulgent performance barely gets past your acting partner, so there's no way it's gonna reach the person in the front row, let alone the person in the back row. It's kind of hot on that one. Number 2, camera audition. Unless the casting director really knows you and loves you, or you're kind of famous, they're gonna think you're crazy. Because the camera is not gonna be up in your face. The camera and the reader are gonna be at least 2 to 5 feet away from you. Plus the casting director is gonna get annoyed because they can't use the take, it's too quiet, which takes up more of their time. I mean, but don't get it twisted. I'm not saying don't use volume, but I'm saying stay on voice as you go down in volume. Number 3, voiceover, AKA VO. And now I'm gonna be completely honest with you, I'm guilty when it comes to this sort of thing. My thinking on it was, well, you're speaking to someone's ear, so you wanna be soft and easy to listen to, and I hate these next words. You wanna be genuine and authentic. 2 things are wrong with that type of thinking. 1, I'm confusing cause and effect. This is the same as wanting to cry on cue. When you read the script, you cried. Effect, what made you cry is something else. That is the cause. So if you want your audience to cry, you have to act the cause and not the effect. In the case of the VO, I was acting the effect and not the cause. To create the effect I was after, I have to make choices about the placement and the tone of my voice and the pace of my speech and the modulation of the consonants and vowels. Hence why rule number 2 is called staying on voice and make a choice. 2, acting off voice is not what the buyers, the market, or the audience wants. They want to hear a choice. They're gonna like you for you, or they're not gonna like you for you. Think about all your favorite actresses or actors. They're your favorite for a specific reason. Now think about all the other actors you don't like. You don't like them for a specific reason. So stay on voice and have the courage to make a choice. Part 2, hit the like button, because some of y'all be not hitting the like button. Part 2, you need to stay on voice if you want to be a great actor, because if you're going off voice, you're never going to discover what the script, scene, line, or the moment is about. When you get a piece of text, whether it's for the stage, the film, 4 lines of a VO, you gotta pull it apart. You gotta figure out what makes it work. How do you do that? By figuring out what does not work. And the only way to do that is to fail and suck. And to fail and suck, and to fail and suck, and to fail and suck. And some people don't like to fail and suck, especially in front of people. So they go off voice, and one of 2 things is gonna happen. 1, they act out the scene how it affected them when they read it. It made me cry, so I'm gonna cry. Or 2, they act out an interpretation or an idea they formed in their head when they read the scene. We talked about this in rule number 1. Versus staying on voice, failing and sucking, and figuring out how the scene really works. You gotta suck, because the scene, the line, or the moment that is not working is usually the key to the entire scene, line, or moment. Now, I know what some of you are gonna say. You're gonna say, well, the TV and the camera is such an intimate art form. It's up in my face. Correct. But that has nothing to do with being on or off voice. That's just your lack of technique. Yeah, I said it. Part 3, the ultimate reason this is going to make you such a great actor or actress. If you go off voice, yeah, it might seem more authentic, but your audience is not going to feel a thing. They'll nod their heads and think, wow, that's a really great performance, instead of walking away from the theater or film or book without words, because they're lost in some feeling that with your voice, you have literally, viscerally moved their bodies. All right, as promised, I teach the rule. Now this is how to break the rule. Going off voice is a flair. A great example of this is in Harry Potter, Prisoner of Azkaban, when Sirius Black calls from the fireplace and says, Harry, Harry. Remember, it's just a flair. a taste, but it cannot be the basis of the entire performance or scene. If you want more examples of this, just check out any one of the Lord of the Rings. The vocal technique in those movies is just out of control, amazing. Personally, I think some of the best vocal techniques in the industry are Cate Blanchett. So to summarize, rule number 2, stay on voice and make a choice. It'll make you 1, more hireable, 2, better at figuring out how the script works, and 3, better at making your audience really feel something. The rule works hand in hand with rule number 1, so if you missed that, I'll link it in the video. That being said, remember, don't be good, be great. Don't be great, be one of the greats. Until next time, I'm out.